Welcome to Value Plays Only, where Final Fortune is just an instant speed concession. Today we have Tyler, playing Sisay by the Light Captain. This 5-color tutor chain has 0-card win lines that can tutor the battlefield if it makes enough mana. In addition, it plays all the best value pieces 5 colors can offer. His hand contains a Mystic Remora, Lotus Petal, Relic of Legends, Kin and Bond of Prodigy, Colossal Sky Turtle, Enlightened Tutor, and Ancient Tomb. Dan is playing Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. This deck looks to swarm the board with ninjas, locking down the board with punishing life tax effects until it can beat down its opponents. His hand contains Moth Dust Changeling, Agadeem's Awakening, and Underground River. His 4 London mulligans are Aether Vial, Wan Shitong Librarian, Cover of Darkness, and Sator the Infiltrator. John is playing Kalamax, the Stormsire. This value teamer list is looking to land Kalamax early and get it tapped. From there, it generates massive advantage by doubling up on spells on each player's turn, winning with Commander Damage or Underworld Breach. His hand contains Mystic Remora, Sylvan Library, Lotus Petal, Gifts Ungiven, Dig Through Time, Verdant Catacombs, and Shifting Woodlands. Nick from the Top Deckers is playing Thrasios Triton Hero and Tymna the Weaver. This deck leverages 2 card advantage engines in the command zone to piece together either an infinite mana or Thassa's Oracle winning. His hand contains Landward Elves, Carpet of Flowers, Lotho Corrupt Sheriff, Kin and Bond of Prodigy, Verdant Catacombs, and Tropical Island. And with that, let's see some value plays. Tyler starts things off with an Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He casts a Lotus Petal. He casts Relic of Legends. He casts Mystic Remora. The table spit out their drinks as it resolves. Tyler passes the turn. Dan plays an Underground River as land for turn. He casts a Moth Dust Changeling. He passes the turn. John plays a Verdant Catacombs as land for turn. He pays Life and Cracks it, fetching up a Tropical Island. He then casts a Mystic Remora of his own. Mystic triggers and Tyler draws. John then passes the turn. Nick plays a Savannah as land for turn. He casts a Carpet of Flowers. 2 Mystic trigger and John and Tyler draw. Carpet resolves. Nick moves to his second main phase and Carpet triggers to make a green mana. He casts Landward Elves. Nick passes the turn. Tyler untaps and in his upkeep he pays to keep Remora. He plays a Verdant Catacombs as land for turn. He pays Life and Cracks it, fetching up a Tropical Island. He casts Kin and Bond of Prodigy. The table cry out as the gap widens and Tyler passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays an Agadeem, the Undercrypt, as land for turn. Into play on tap, paying 3 life. He goes to combat swinging Moth Dust at John. John declares no blocks and Dan activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. It enters tapped and attacking John and he takes the damage. Yuriko triggers to reveal Irma, part-time mutant, with each opponent taking 3. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps and in his upkeep he pays to keep Remora. He plays a Taiga as land for turn. He casts Lotus Petal. Mystic triggers and Tyler draws. He taps out for a Sylvan Library. Mystic triggers and Tyler draws. John then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. In his first main phase, Carpet triggers to add a white mana. He plays Verdant Catacombs as land for turn. He pays Life and Cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. He casts Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. He then casts Soul Ring. Lotho, Mystic, and Mystic trigger. John and Tyler draw, and Nick loses a life and makes a treasure. He then casts Kin and Bond of Prodigy. In a pretty good spot himself, Nick passes the turn. In his end step, Tyler casts Enlightened Tutor. Mystic triggers and John draws. He searches up a Smothering Tithe to the top of his library. The turn then moves to Tyler. Tyler untaps and in his upkeep he pays to keep Remora. He plays Bayou as land for turn. He casts Smothering Tithe. Mystic triggers and John draws. With everyone begging each other to have something, Tithe resolves. Tyler then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. Tithe makes a treasure. He plays an island as land for turn. He casts Irma, part-time mutant. He goes to combat and Irma triggers to become a copy of Yuriko with a counter. He swings Yuriko at Tyler. He takes the damage and Yuriko triggers twice. The first trigger reveals Bloodchief Ascension, with each opponent taking 1. The second reveals May, Scornful Striker, with each opponent taking 2. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps in his upkeep, he really debates paying for Remora. He decides he has to try and draw into something powerful to turn this game around. He pays to keep the fish. In his draw step, he draws 2 extra through Sylvan Library, paying 8 life to keep all 3. Tithe triggers 3 times to make 3 treasures. John plays Command Tower as land for turn. He just passes the turn, discarding to hand size. Nick untaps and draws. Tithe makes a treasure. In his first main phase, Carpet adds a black mana. He casts his commander, Tymna the Weaver. He asks if he can get some draws to try and dig them out of the Tyler-shaped hole they're in. Dan and John agree, and Nick goes to combat. He swings Kinnan at John and Lotho at Dan. They take the damage, and in his second main phase, Tymna triggers to lose 2 life and draw 2 cards. Tithe triggers twice to make treasures. He casts Avacyn's Pilgrim. Lotho triggers to lose a life and make a treasure. Nick then passes the turn. In his end step, Tyler flashes in Wan Shitong Librarian with X equals 6. It triggers to draw 3. The turn then moves to Tyler. Tyler untaps and in his upkeep he pays to keep Remora. In his upkeep, Nick casts Silence. 2 Mystics trigger. John draws, Tithe triggers to make a treasure, and then Tyler draws. Silence resolves. Tyler goes to combat, swings Wan Shitong at Nick. He takes the damage, and Tyler passes the turn, discarding the hand size. Dan untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. He goes to combat. At the start of combat, Irma triggers targeting Yuriko. Tyler responds by activating Talon Gates of Moderate in hand. It enters and triggers to phase out Yuriko. The Irma ability then fizzles, but it's still a copy of Yuriko from the last turn. He swings Irma at John. He takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers to reveal a Massacre, with each opponent taking 4. In his second main phase, Dan opts to help the table some and misses his land drop to channel Otawara, Soaring City, bouncing Smothering Tithe back to Tyler's hand, so the other two can try to draw an answer without making the problem worse. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps in his upkeep, he lets his reward die. He draws 2 extra through Sylvan, showing them all to be lands, putting 2 back on top. He plays a Misty Rainforest, his land for turn. He plays Life and Cracks it, fetching up a Volcanic Island. Wan Chitong triggers to draw. He casts the Cabbage Merchant. John then passes the turn, discarding to hand size. Nick untaps and draws. He goes straight to combat, swings Lotho at Dan and Tymna at John. They take the damage, and in his second main phase, Tymna triggers to lose 2 and draw 2. Carpet triggers to add 2 blue mana. He plays Gemstone Caverns, his land for turn. He casts an Esper Sentinel. He casts a Chrome Box. Lotho, Mystic, Cabbage Man trigger. John makes a food, Tyler draws, and Nick makes a treasure. Nick then imprints Noble Hierarch. He casts his commander, Thrasios, Triton Hero. He activates Thrasios, scrying and drawing Wan Chitong, Librarian. He casts Wan Chitong with X equals 2. It enters and triggers to draw 1. Nick then has to pass the turn. Tyler untaps in his upkeep, he lets his Remore die. The table cheers, they've outlasted one of his many engines. Tyler casts Ristic Study. Cabbage Man and Esper trigger. Tyler pays and John makes a food. John then delves 6 to help cast Dig Through Time. Esper triggers and Nick draws. He looks at the top 7 and adds 2 to hand. Ristic Study then resolves. Tyler casts Cutsil, Malamute Exemplar. Lotho triggers to lose a life and make a treasure. Sadly for the table, Cutsil resolves. Tyler casts his commander, Sisay, Weatherlight Captain. He then plays a Marsh Flats, his land for turn. He plays a Life Cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. Wan Chitong triggers to draw. Tyler floats Sands Blue with his treasures and activates Sisay. He searches up a Dahada, Binder of Wills, to the battlefield. Wan Chitong triggers. In response, the table huddle together to start hatching a plan. This is one of the few times a Planeswalker is in play and can't be activated immediately with priority. Nick activates Thrasios, scrying 1 and revealing Demonic Betrayal, adding it to hand. He then channels Otawara, Soaring City, targeting Dihada. In response, Tyler taps Sisay through Relic and activates Sisay again. He goes searching for a way to protect Dihada. He doesn't quite find it and starts looking for the best plan to keep pushing here. He searches up Tyvar, Jubilant Brawler, to the battlefield. Wan Chitong triggers to draw. Dihada then bounces to hand, and Nick draws a card. Finally, with an open game state, Tyler activates the -2 ability of Tyvar, milling 3 and returning Ignoble Hierarch to the battlefield. He taps out to cast Fabro Elder. He taps it to cast Derevi, Imperial Tactician. It enters and triggers to untap Wan Chitong. He goes to combat and swings Wan Chitong at Dan. Dan takes damage, Cutsil and Derevi trigger. Tyler untaps Fabro and draws a card. In his second main phase, he recasts Dihada, Binder of Wills. Cabbage Man makes a food. Tyler uses the -3 ability of Dihada to mill 4 and make 4 treasures. He floats Sands Green and activates Sisay to search up Emil the Blessed. Wan Chitong triggers to draw. He activates Emil to flicker Fabro. He can now present a loop of paying 3 mana to flicker Fabro and tapping it for 6 through Tyvar. He does this until he has infinite mana of all of his colors. He activates Sisay to search up Mount Doom to the battlefield. He can now present a loop of using Emil to flicker Derevi and using Derevi to untap Mount Doom. In between each of these untaps, he can pay some of his infinite mana into Mount Doom to deal 1 to each opponent. He does this over and over until the table is dead. And with that, Tyler wins the game. Today, we have a 2-for-1 deal. In this game, Dan is again playing Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. His hand contains an Ornithopter, Covert Technician, Ingenious Infiltrator, Nanogene Conversion, Otawara Soaring City, Gemstone Caverns, and Agadeem's Awakening. John is playing Gave, Guru of Spores. This walking combo pile goes infinite with any 3 cards in the deck. This deck usually wins with an Aristocrat-style loop or an Undying combo. His hand contains Landward Elves, Deathrite Shaman, Mana Vault, Imperial Seal, Green Sun Zenith, Force of Vigor, and Bloodstained Mire. Nick is playing Malcolm, Keen-Eye Navigator, and Vial Smasher the Fierce. This Grixis Pirate deck looks to win fast. It can lean on Thassa's Oracle, Underworld Breach, Glinthorn Buccaneer, or a Trickery Charmed loop. His hand contains an Imperial Seal, Rite of Flame, Pyroblast, Leyline of Transformation, Ancient Tomb, and Snow-Covered Island. His London Mulligan is an Animate Dead. Tyler's playing Dargo the Shipwrecker and Tymna the Weaver. This deck looks to loop Dargo with Relic Legends or Burgi and a Sacrifice Outlet, or it can win with Underworld Breach. His hand contains Ragavan Nimble Pilferer, Mana Vault, Lotus Petal, Vampiric Tutor, Diabolic Content, Myrel Shield of Argive, and Verdant Catacombs. And with that, let's see some value plays. Nick has a pregame action, putting Leyline of Transformation onto the battlefield, naming Pirate as it enters. Dan starts things off with an Agadeem, the Undercrypt, into play tapped. He casts Ornithopter. Dan passes the turn. John plays Bloodstained Mire, his land for turn. He plays Life Cracks it, fetching up a Scrubland. He casts a Deathrite Shaman. John passes the turn. Nick plays an Ancient Tomb, his land for turn. He passes the turn. Tyler plays a Verdant Catacombs, his land for turn. He plays Life and Cracks it, fetching up a Badlands. He casts a Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer. He casts a Lotus Petal. Tyler passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a Watery Grave, his land for turn. Into play untap, paying 2 life. He goes to combat, swinging Ornithopter at Nick. Nick declares no blocks, and Dan activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of his commander, Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. Nick takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers, revealing Mystical Tutor, with each opponent taking 1. In his second main phase, Dan recasts Ornithopter. He passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He exiles a land from Tyler's grave to cast Llanowar Elves. He casts Imperial Seal. John searches up a card to the top of his library and loses 2 life. He then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays a snow-covered island as land for turn. He casts his commander, Malcolm, Keen Eye Navigator. He then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He goes to combat and swings Ragavan at Dan. He takes it, and Ragavan triggers to make a treasure and exile Fierce Guardianship off the top of Dan's library. In his second main phase, Tyler casts Mana Vault. He casts Myrel, Shield of Argive. He then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a Gemstone Cavern as land for turn. He goes to combat and swings Yuriko at John and Ornithopter at Tyler. They declare no blocks, and Dan ninjutsus in Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, over Ornithopter. They take the damage, and Yuriko triggers twice. The first reveals Aether Vial, with each opponent taking 1. The second trigger reveals Shadow of Mortality, with each opponent taking 15. Everyone is still reeling from the damage as Dan goes to his second main phase and recasts Ornithopter. He uses the Zero Loyalty ability of Kaito to surveil 2 and draw 3. He then passes the turn, discarding to hand size. John untaps and draws. He casts a Mana Vault. He casts Smothering Tithe. John then holds up a blocker and passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. He plays a Flooded Strand as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Volcanic Island. He opts to just pass the turn. In his end step, John casts Force of Vigor, exiling Green Sun Zenith as an alternate cost, targeting Lotus Petal and Ornithopter. In response, Tyler cracks Petal to cast Vampiric Tutor. Dan steps in here with a Metal Misstep, countering Vamp Tutor. Ornithopter is then destroyed, and the turn moves to Tyler. Tyler untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. Mana Vault deals 1 to him. Tyler goes to combat and swings Ragavan and Myrel at Dan. Myrel triggers to make a 1/1 soldier. Dan takes the damage, and Ragavan triggers to make a treasure and exile Scalding Tarn off the top of Dan's library. In his second main phase, Tyler casts Static Prison. It enters and exiles Kaito. Tyler then passes the turn. Dan untaps the smoldering wreckage of his board and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. He plays Odawar, Soaring City, as land for turn. He casts Wingcrafter. It enters and soul bonds to Yuriko. He goes to combat and swings Yuriko at Tyler. He takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers to reveal a Shizo, Death Storehouse. In his second main phase, Dan casts Covert Technician. He then passes the turn. John untaps and draws. Mana Vault deals 1 to him. He casts a Ranger Captain of Eos. And Anderson triggers to search up an Esper Sentinel to hand. He casts Esper Sentinel. John then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. Nick goes to combat and swings Malcolm at Dan. He takes the damage, and Malcolm triggers to make a treasure. In his second main phase, Nick casts Imperial Seal. Esper triggers, Nick pays. He then searches up a card at the top of his library and loses 2 life. He then passes the turn. Tyler taps and draws. He goes to combat. Nick realizes that Ragavan can steal his top deck tutor and tells Tyler he has a pirate combo on top, and it won't help him get through this turn. Tyler really doesn't want to die to Dan and needs some better card quality. John offers to let Ragavan in the hopes that Tyler finds some removal for everyone's boards. Tyler swings Ragavan at John, Myrel at Dan, and Soldier at Nick. Myrel triggers to make 2 soldiers. Dan blocks with Covert Technician, and they take the damage. Ragavan triggers to make a treasure and exile Diabolic Intent. John cries out at his deck for giving Tyler too good of a card. In his second main phase, Tyler plays City of Traders as land for turn. He casts Culling the Weak, sacrificing a soldier to add 4 black mana. Esper triggers and John draws. He casts Diabolic Intent, sacrificing another soldier to search up a card to hand. He then casts his commander, Dargo the Shipwrecker, using a treasure and sacrificing Mana Vault as an additional cost. He casts Relic of Legends. He taps Dargo for a red and casts his own Diabolic Intent, sacrificing Dargo as an additional cost. He goes searching and realizes he's 1 mana short of a win this turn, despite his great protection under Myrel. Tyler opts to recast Dargo and just pass the turn. Dan untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. He plays Shizo, Death Storehouse, as land for turn. He casts a Lotus Petal. Esper triggers, and in response, John casts Vampiric Tutor. He searches up a card at the top of his library and loses 2 life. Dan then pays for Esper. He casts Nanogene Conversion, targeting Yuriko. In response, Nick casts Deadly Rollick, targeting Yuriko. Esper triggers and Nick pays. Yuriko is exiled and Nanogene fizzles. He then has to pass the turn. John untaps and draws. Mana Vault deals 1 to him. He plays Godless Shrine as land for turn. Into play on tap, paying 2 life. He casts his commander, Gabe, Guru of Spores. He then casts Skull Clamp. John then goes into the tank, knowing Nick's Mystery Wind is still on top of his library, as no one has dealt with it yet. He equips Skull Clamp to Llanowar Elves and it dies, triggering to draw 2. He casts Dark Ritual, making 3 black mana. He spends 3 mana to activate Gabe 3 times, removing counters from it to make 1/1 Saplings. He then convokes Court of Calling with X equals 3. Dan shows John a card in hand and tells him he better not win. John takes the advice and says he'll go digging. John searches up a Warren Soul Trader to the battlefield. He then attaches Skull Clamp to a Saproling, killing it and triggering to draw 2. He activates Soul Trader to sack a Saproling for a treasure. He uses it to attach Skull Clamp to Deathrite Shaman. He activates Soul Trader, sacrificing Death Ray to make a treasure, triggering Skull Clamp to draw 2. He casts Kalamax, imprinting Carpet of Flowers as it enters. He attaches Skull Clamp to Ranger Captain Vios in an act of desperation, knowing that it won't stop Nick or Tyler. He sacrifices it to Soul Trader for a treasure. Skull Clamp triggers to draw. He casts a Soul Ring. Desperate to keep digging, he activates Gave to create a new sapling. He attaches Skull Clamp to it to kill it and draw 2 cards. As his final act of defiance, he sacrifices a sapling to make a treasure and equips Skull Clamp to Esper Sentinel, killing it to draw more. All out of options, John plays a Verdant Catacombs and passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. He casts Rite of Flame. In response, John pays life and cracks Verdant Catacombs, fetching up a Vial. Rite of Flame then resolves. Nick casts Reckless Fireweaver. In response, Dan casts a Mystical Tutor. John responds with a Veil of Summer. He holds priority and casts an Enlightened Tutor. Enlightened Tutor resolves, and John realizes now that he doesn't play Touch the Spirit Realm. He just puts a Defense of the Heart on top of his library and resigns to his fate. John draws from Veil, and Mystical Tutor puts a Force of Will on top of Dan's library. Reckless Fireweaver then resolves. Nick goes to combat and swings Malcolm at John. John takes it, and Malcolm triggers to make a treasure. Fireweaver triggers to ping each opponent for 1. Thanks to Leyline, Malcolm triggers to make 3 treasures. Nick now presents a loop of making treasures with Malcolm, pinging with Fireweaver, and then making more treasures through Malcolm due to Leyline. He does this over and over until the table is dead. And with that, Nick wins the game. So what do we learn today? Sometimes no amount of good gameplay can overcome a nutty start on the play. If someone starts with 4 mana and a draw engine and then a smothering tithe, maybe just take the loss and move on. If you have any tips for the video, leave them below. Subscribe if you feel like it. Until next time, keep making value plays. Anyway, here's Remora.
Remora.
I'm feeding 2 cards.
What? I thought you said you were
One
feeding
on
1.
one.
Oh, yeah. I thought I played this. You're like, now I'm feeding 2. You know what? Yeah.
Come on, bro.
It's fucking criminal.
John's never seen a good start in his life before.
There's never been a start this good. I draw 3 cards, do the Silver Library.
Oh, John.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, what do you want me to do?
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, I can do nothing.
That feels so good.
Yeah, dude. My God. We're fucking gone.
Damn, dude. Library is sick.
I'm past the turn.
Library sick.
Library is sick.
Untap. What's it? 21 mana show?
Is it 21 really?
10 makes us 2.
14?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I've never heard of a good start.
21 mana. Dude, you gave me so many of those treasures, John.
I gave you 2.
It would be good because it'd kill Kenny.
It kills him.
It would
and kill him.
It would destroy you, which is not good.
I don't think that's a net benefit. Diggy dog. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put 2 into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom.
Are you just doing that?
I have passed it.
Just doing
I know. I can go on top of that though.
That's what I'm asking. Did you pass on it?
I don't know. You have these. Is that your hand or is that
Yes.
the 7? Oh, I thought that was.
I need this to resolve,
I,
dog.
I literally thought you were like
skip.
No.
just drawing 7 cards.
second.
No, I was
guess
delving
that's
my
happening.
brain.
No, he
No.
was delving.
Yeah, I'm asking, does it
That's
resolve?
so funny.
I need someone to let me in with Ragavan. I don't have the color.
I'm open.
Geo.
Fucking take.
Yeah,
I need someone. I'll let you in.
Yeah.
My realm
Well,
trigger
hang
is
on.
on attack.
Do you
I will get a
want-
blocker.
Me?
Yeah. Or no, I'll swing at you. You're right.
Why?
Because
He took
your
Kaito
turn.
away.
Yeah, you took Kaito.
John's got tithe, brother.
Nobody cares about that.
Okay. And he's already made tons of mana. Dude, I'm sitting on 1 land.
Remember when he untapped with 37 mana?
Yeah, because I had tithe. And you were all like, it's a problem. Now
Yeah.
John's got it.
I have 3 in 1 land.
Dargo just blows up too much. It
Okay.
blows up too much.
I take however much.
1.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Oh, fuck, it gets a 1 or less. I was like, yeah! I solved it, guys!
Dude, Ranger's so good
Yeah,
now.
I get any creature, I'm killing it. That's so cool how he does whatever the fuck I want.
I'll do it.
What will you do? You can't do that under my route, brother.
That's so
We're
stupid.
fucked. Yeah, I'm telling you, we're dead. I don't know.
I'm so fried.
Like, what are you threatening?
I really do need this treasure, though.
Look,
my God.
I won't.
can't get
I'll
it.
do it to
I-
anything you want.
No, I have to do it. Dude, the energy never resolves.
Energy's basically
Yeah,
like,
it's
banana
such a-
gene's basically like, okay,
It's so
straight,
tough.
just discard.
Yeah.
Pay 4 to discard.
I could have just got like Ashnod's Altar or something, but
Yeah.
I needed the fear down. Luckily, he tapped out to blow himself to bits.
Okay. You know what?
You didn't
You're
know
right.
it.
That is what Nanogene is. John, don't win because I could just
Show me something that would stop me, and I won't. Oh. Hey, yeah, okay, you got it.
All right.
Hey, you got it, sir. Yes, sir. What helps Dan the most? Woo, woo.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you got rid of the
What are
captain?
we doing here?
What?
Isn't that like the insurance against the other two?
No,
people
it's
who are
not.
winning?
It's not.
Crusty, dude.
It's not.
John, I showed you a card.
Hit him with it.
I can't help. Dan, I can't even crack it into my route, and I know that his thing is a creature combo, so I don't give a shit.
All right. I assume that you maybe do this for some reason.
Veil of Summer.
Ah, okay.
Oh my god, we're so fucking good. No, team.
No, we're there. Hang on. Enlightened tutor.
It's the spirit realm.
You touch his
It
beard?
can happen.
Dylan's got a sack.
Shut up.
His whole life.
Shut the fuck up. I don't think I can do it.
What?
Okay, I don't play that card.
No, John.
It was MBT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
hoping to
so
bait him into casting anything by just like shitting spells on the stand.
I
had no hope.
I had a pyroblast, but